I'm Hazel, and today we're taking a look through the appearances of Shadowlands leveling gear. So these looks are going to be from world drop greens as well as quests. We have a different set for each armor type in a couple of colors each, as well as some new weapon models. All of these are in the Shadowlands appearance journal on Alpha, so you can count on them as being mostly done. First up, let's take a look at the cloth set. I have chosen tall races for all of these previews despite my love of gnomes because I figure you can see the gear better. I really like this cloth set. I enjoy how it's simple, which makes sense for questing and leveling gear. It's just green appearances, it shouldn't be too crazy, but it still works, you know? It's got a concept, it gets it across very clearly, and it feels like something that you might actually wear. This is kind of the navy gold color. All three of the colorways for the cloth set are fairly gold based. There's a darker colored one called the Spirit Tenders set, which might be nice for Shadow Priests. And if you're more into the blue vibe, this is the Bloodskin coloring. I also really enjoy how understated the shoulders are in these things. Occasionally shoulders in WoW become very, very exciting, but also a little bit impractical to wear. And this seems like it makes sense for walking around and living your life in. Next up, this is a look at the leather gear, and I think this is most notable for what's going on up top. You have a unique looking collar kind of tied about the neck there, as well as some interesting looking shoulders. So this kind of dark green and blue colorway is called the Star Shroud set. You can have it in sort of a red and bronze vibe with the Night Cloaked set, or you can go all blue with Warflesh. I also really enjoy the vibe of this set, particularly these fastener bits that are on the coat as well as across the headpiece. It is worth noting that this headpiece looks much better on a character that has short hair or their hair up. If you have your hair down, it will clip right through the whole thing and it does look a bit of a mess, so keep that in mind. Moving along, this is what your male questing set is going to look like. The shoulders on this are just so graceful and understated. I love it. I enjoy that you can see that pattern echoed on the gloves. Like with the cloth set, we once again have a helmet model that completely covers your hair. Notably, it also completely covers your eyes, which the cloth set did also, so that's interesting. This is the silver model. We also have a couple other colors. You know, maybe I gave the leather set too hard of a time for having overly plain legs. Perhaps leggings is just the fashion in Shadowlands. This set actually comes in 4 colorways, which might be a sign that we could see more color options available for other armor sets down the road. Here's the last one. I can't say it's a wildly different color, but I do still think this is a nice set. That belt in particular with the coin that's kind of tied on with the sash, I think that'll look nice on quite a few different sets. Last and possibly least, depending on how you feel about this look, this is the plate set. I think if we've learned anything from today's leveling gear, it's that in the Shadowlands, you probably don't need to see. I foresee this set being a little bit less popular than the other sets that we've seen so far, if only because it looks kind of a lot like some gear that we already have in the game. There's a Trial of Styles set that has almost this exact same silhouette, just with different textures and colors. This colorway is called the Grove Warden set, and you know, nothing says Grove Warden like a full faceplate. And last, of course, it comes in gold. I do feel like these questing sets kind of give off the vibe of the Bastion zone, which is the Kyrian area. That does kind of make sense given that that is the first zone that you level through. So far, these are the only questing sets that we have in the appearance journal. For BFA, there ended up being 2 different appearances for each armor type, one for Zandalar and one for Coltiris. So it's possible that we end up seeing more leveling sets that are tied to each covenant, but it's also just as possible that these are what we have, and if you want to wear more Covenant-y gear, then you'd better join a Covenant. In addition to the sets though, of course, we also have some questing weapon appearances, and these I'm really excited about. This is the Stone's General Edge appearance. It is a one-handed axe, and that feels big for a one-handed axe for me. This is a female human character, and they do carry weapons a bit large, but that's a big one-handed axe. In one-handed swords, we actually have 2 different models in a couple of colors. So this is the Revendreth Rapier. We have it in gold, we have it in silver, we also have it in a different silver. But that's kind of neat. That is a one-handed sword. Excellent rogue transmog. Love that. We also see the Gormsmith sword, which appears to be more of an Ardenweld appearance. We have that in blue, and that's it for now. Oh, another rapier. we have the blue sword for now, and that is marked as being a quest appearance. Over in one-handed maces, we have 3 different appearances so far. This is the Super Collider. Also the Sin Smasher, also the Stone Guardian's Cudgel. Looks like this very Enhancement Shaman kind of hammer. We also have the Gormsmith Mace for another blue Ardenweldy sort of look. And then we have the Depraved Inquisitor Cudgel for more of a Revendreth vibe. If this logic follows, then I would guess that we're also probably going to see some Maldraxxus-y weapons at some point. Taking a look at daggers, we have the Banewood Blade appearance, also available in a different color with the Nobleman's Pocket Blade. Seems like a bit of a typo there. This is the Avowed Ritualist dagger, and we also have a Gormsmith dagger. Very rapidly starting to really favor these Gormsmith appearances. Imagine that dagger on a Resto Druid. I think I can use daggers on my Resto Druid. Yes, I can use daggers on my Resto Druid. That is a healing weapon if I ever saw one. Love that. There is one fist weapon so far. This is just marked as 9.0 Zone Uncommon Bastion Weapon Fist Agility. So based on that string, I would guess that we're probably going to see different weapon models for each of the zones for each weapon type. At least that's the way it looks like it's going. This is going to be your Bastion-y fist weapon. I am sad to report that there are no two-handed axes so far to look at. However, we do have a 9.0 Bastion Sword. So there is your two-handed Bastion Sword, a fairly straightforward and simple concept, but sometimes you just want a very big sword that just looks like a sword. For two-handed maces, we have more of this cudgel appearance that we saw in the one-handed mace, available in a variety of colors. We also have Droman's Bludgeon for more of a Night Fae appearance. In polearms, we have a Revendreth questing appearance available in a couple of colors. You also have a Bastion one that just looks like that, and then the Gormsmith Spear. And looking at this, I'm not sure that the Gormsmiths know what a spear is, but I am also not complaining. We have one new bow model so far that looks like this. This is, of course, the Gormsmith bow. That is so pretty and almost makes me afraid to look at what the gun model's gonna be. Looks like so far we only have Revendreth gun models, so this is actually kind of neat. We have this one in a couple of different colors. That's kind of fun, very Bloodborne. For crossbows, and I'm really not sure who's using these, but this is the Bastion 9.0 crossbow weapon. It's got some painting along the front. We don't seem to have any wand appearances yet, but we do have some offhands. So we got this Vile offhand that I know for a fact is available in other colors from questing. I have seen a red one before, so you can be walking around with like a big old health potion in your offhand. We also, of course, have the Gormsmith Focus, which really kind of just looks like a leg from some moth that was flying around that you just kind of grabbed. It's like, I need this to focus. For shields, we actually have the first Maldraxxus questing item to pop up, so this is your Maldraxxus questing green quality shield appearance. We also have a kite shield available in a couple of colors. That looks like the Revendreth option. Here we have the Bastion shield appearance, and then of course we have the Gormsmith stuff, which is going to be my favorite. And I have saved my favorite weapon type for last with staves. This staff has kind of a batwing looking motif around it, also available in a couple of colors. We have this one, which is marked as a Maldraxxus placeholder staff, but you can assume that you'll be able to get that in a couple of colors. That thing is huge. And of course, we have a Night Fae one with kind of like a spider web vibe up top in the ring there. You can barely see it from head on. And by barely, I mean you can't. But spin to the side and you've got kind of a web going on. That's fun. So based on what we've seen today, I think it is very safe to say that there are more weapon appearances coming. We are likely to get weapons for each different zone in each different weapon type, or at least most of them. I'm curious to see if that holds true for armor sets. You know, for weapons, we've seen various covenants kind of interspersed throughout the weapons, but we only really saw Bastion-looking questing sets. So either the rest of them are completely not done yet, or we're only getting the one set. We'll have to see. I do think that there's going to be even more weapons to choose from once Shadowlands goes live, but I have already seen a ton of stuff that I can use. These appearances are not necessarily locked to any given covenant. These seem like they're going to be green gear and questing gear that drops as you're questing through them, so you can probably use these regardless of your covenant choice. Probably. Oh, and actually one more thing before I forget. There is a model here for some reinforced ectoplasmic specs, which look to be our new engineering goggles coming in Shadowlands. So you have, you know, for when two eyes are not enough, you have a third one. Look at that little cable. Oh boy. So that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to doing more Transmog previews like this, specifically looking at Covenant and Raid gear, so keep an eye out for those. Let me know what you think of the new sets. I know not everybody wears questing gear, but I kind of like to, especially on alts. Sometimes you want a set that is just not too crazy, and I feel like these did a good job at that. Let me know what you think of the new sets and weapons, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.